What is up guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Dr. Hammerstein and today we are going to do a full comparison video between two very powerful and interesting flagship phones. And in the first corner here we have the Honor Magic 6 Pro and it's going up against the S24 Ultra from Samsung. So I'm going to go through all the key specs and features on both of these two phones and of course give you my thoughts and my opinions at the end as well. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Okay, so we're going to start off here with the prices on both of these two phones, and I also include the USD prices here as well. Alright, so for the Honor Magic 6 Pro, I know that official prices is not yet out at the time of this video, but looking at the Magic 5 Pro, it's at about 4,000 ringgit, so which would place it at about the $900 mark. And now let's talk about the S24 Ultra over here. So the base price does start off at 62.99 ringgit and you can go up all the way to 77.99 ringgit Malaysia. Okay, so now that the price is all just pushed aside, we're gonna look at the first part here, which is the build and design. So starting with the cheaper Honor Magic 6 Pro over here, I do like the fact that they have included a eco leather finish on the back over here. So it's very nice and premium. If you guys do not want to use your phone case with this, no problems whatsoever. You're not going to get a lot of fingerprints on this. You do have a huge camera bump on the back here and some metal frames on the sides and a glass on the front. And of course, if we switch it on to the Galaxy S24 Ultra, it uses the latest Corning Gorilla Glass armor on the back and also on the front here as well. And on the sides, we do have a titanium grade 2 frame on the side. So it's very, very premium when it comes to the S24 Ultra, but also the Magic 6 Pro for the price actually does give you a very solid build as well. Both of them are very, very heavy when it comes to the flagship phones. Of course, we have the S Pen on the S24 Ultra, and as we can see on the bottom here as well, you have USB-C charging, your stereo speaker setup, and also the cameras on the S24 Ultra isn't as prominent and as huge as compared to the Magic 6 Pro, but this one is symmetrical down the center, so if you, in case you want to put it on the table, it's very, very flat over here, whereas this one would be a little bit slanted to one side due to the cameras being located on the left side on the back here. And also, like I mentioned many times before, when it comes to the Samsung flagship phones, they have a very, very boxy design. It's not too bad. I do like the grips on the sides when it comes to this, but you do have the sharp edges on the bottom here. So sometimes when you're resting it on your palm, it gets a little bit annoying. Whereas over here, you have a very simple, clean design. Curve on the edges here, curve on the sides here as well. A little bit flat on the sides here. So it does give you very, very nice grip overall. It does have a nice curved display, a very subtle curved display on the sides here. Whereas on the S24 Ultra, it is all flat, which is something I really do appreciate, even with a huge flagship phone over here. And of course, overall, the button layouts and everything are very, very easy to reach, so you don't have to worry about it. Power button, volume rocket here. Same thing with the Magic 6 Pro. And of course, one more thing to note is when it comes to the camera cutout here, you have one small cutout on the S24 Ultra located down right the center, and on the Magic 6 Pro also you do have the so-called Honor Island, I would call it, which is located down right the center, and it's pretty small compared to the Magic 5 Pro that we had before. So one more thing to note is that both these two phones do have an official IP68 rating, so it is water and dust resistant. Okay, so next up here, let's talk about the displays on both of these two phones. So similarity wise, they are quite close to each other. Both of them do have your OLED panel. Of course, this one does have the dynamic AMOLED, which is the Samsung kind of version. And here we have the LTPO OLED display here. 1 billion colors, HDR10 plus support, and about 1600 nits of brightness, whereas this one does max out at 2600, whereas the 6 Pro does claim to go up to 5000 nits of peak brightness. In terms of the display size, as you can't really tell, both of them do actually have the same amount of inches over here, 6.8 inch on both of these two phones. And also, I want to talk about the displays here. To be honest, here in sunny Malaysia, where it gets really, really bright, both of them perform really well. Of course, this one you would expect to be almost 2 times the brightness on this, but on every day-to-day usage, you can't really tell the difference, to be honest, that much. And I do like the adaptive brightness that we have over here. The smoothness on the display as well is really nice. And also your punchy colors on this looks very awesome on both of these two flagship phones. Okay, and also one more thing that I want to highlight to you guys is when it comes to the stereo speakers on both of these two phones. So both of them do have your stereo speaker setup, sound amazing when you're watching your shows. But one thing I want to highlight over here is, of course, I do like the speakers on the S24 Ultra compared to the Magic 6 Pro, because a lot of times when I'm just outside and I forget my earbuds, I do find that the speakers on the S24 Ultra is actually louder, clearer and crispier compared to the Magic 6 Pro, but it still performs really nice. But I still like the better sound quality that we get from the S24 Ultra. Alright, so when it comes to the internal specs on this phone, this is where it gets really interesting, because both of them are very similar in this department. Both of them do rock the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor, up to 12 gigs of RAM with, of course, your RAM expansion turbo feature, and also 512 gigs of UFS 4.1 storage. So top of the line specs on both of these two phones. Battery wise, 5600 up against 5000 in terms of charging speed, 80 watts with the 100 watt brick charger right off the box, up against the 45 watts without any charger right out of the box from the S24 Ultra. Reverse wireless charging on both of these two phones, and also wireless charging over here, 15 watts up against 66 watts on the Magic 6 Pro. So as you can tell, definitely when it comes to the battery side of things, this one would beat out the S24 Ultra over here. It does give me a little bit more usage compared to the S24 Ultra. Both of them do give me 1 full day, but I do prefer this when it comes to battery management over here. And of course, if we talk about the speed as well, it's definitely much better compared to the S24 Ultra. In terms of the normal speed when it comes to the phone, the smoothness, both of them perform really well, and it's in 2024, so no surprises over there whatsoever. But of course, one more thing I want to talk about here is when it comes to the software side of things. So both of them do have the Android OS 14 right off the box. So this one does come with Magic OS 8, whereas over here it is One UI 6 right off the box. So it's really up to date with all the latest software. Both of them do have your AI features over here. Of course, this one with the Galaxy AI, there's a lot more things you can do. But the Magic OS 8.0 does give you a lot of cool features as well. I do like a lot of stuff like the drag and drop feature that we have here, which you can kind of just move it around and go on to many other apps you want to do. Galaxy AI as well does have your search feature as well. A lot of things to go through in depth, which is really hard to cover in just one simple video. But to be honest, if I want to put it down to one thing over here, we have 7 years of updates. This one will give you about 3 to 4 years of major software updates. So longevity would go for the S24 Ultra over here. Both of them are really clean, but I do notice that with Samsung phones, they tend to give you less bugs compared to the Honor phones in the long run. That is not to be taking anything away from the Honor phones, because it still performs really well. And of course, when it comes to what you like, you know, over here, you prefer the Samsung feature with the DeX mode and all that, or do you like one of the best Android software that is out there with the Honor phones? That is really up to you. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think when it comes to the software experience on both of these two phones. Alright, so one more thing that I do want to talk about here, which is a little bit underrated, is of course the face and fingerprint unlock. So as you can see here, it does use a ultrasonic scanner. It's a little bit more accurate, but sometimes a little bit slower compared to optical scanners. Face unlock here as well. Not the best, I would say, but still gets the job done pretty fast. With, of course, your Honor phone here, optical scanner works very fast. Maybe less reliable, but not too bad. And also face unlock, as you can see here, gets the job done very well. Okay, and of course, last but not least, let's talk about the cameras on both of these two phones. So as we can see here, they have a very different camera setup. When it comes to the selfie department over here with the S24 Ultra, we do have a 12 megapixel shooter over here, which can record up to 4K at 60 FPS, and it does have your dual pixel dual autofocus here as well, and HDR10+ support. Of course, if we go on to the Magic 6 Pro, it does give you a very massive 50 megapixel shooter over here, which can record up to 4K at 30 FPS, and it does have your gyro EIS, and so it does have your TOF 3D scanner over here as well, and also your auto focus as well. Going on to the rear cameras over here, we do have an impressive triple camera setup, starting with the main lens here, 50 megapixel f1.4 to 2.0. It does give you your laser autofocus and OIS, and it does have your massive telephoto lens here, 180 megapixel f2.6 sensor with dual autofocus and OIS, and it goes up to 2.5 times our optical zoom. And lastly, we have the 50 megapixel f2.0 sensor, and there's your ultra wide lens with your autofocus, and this one can record up to 4K at 60 FPS. And of course, if we talk about the rear cameras on the S24 Ultra, this is where it gets really cool and amazing, because we do have your quad camera setup, starting with the 200 megapixel f1.7 sensor with dual autofocus, laser autofocus and OIS, a 10 megapixel telephoto lens with dual autofocus and OIS, and it does give you the 3 times optical zoom. And the other telephoto lens over here is the 50 megapixel telephoto camera, and it does give you 5 times optical zoom and OIS. And lastly, we have the 12 megapixel lens over here, f2.2, and that is your ultra wide lens with your dual autofocus feature here as well. And this phone can record up to 8K at 30 FPS. Because these are just all numbers over here, let's check out some shots that I've taken with both of these two phones. And what I can say again, yes, these two flagship phones do give you very good images and video as well. But comparing them side by side with each other, this is where you get to see some of the flaws and some of the deficiencies when it comes to both of these two phones. I wouldn't say that one phone is clearly better over the other, but what I noticed is that the S24 Ultra would give me more consistent shots with the main lens over here, and also the 5 times and 3 times optical zoom over here. And also when it comes to the Magic 6 Pro over here, the main lens isn't too bad, but I find the dynamic range to be a bit lacking. Sometimes the shadows don't really get covered really well. It does give you a more dramatic photo at the end of the day, but I still prefer my photos to be brighter and more pleasing to the eye when I'm posting it on my social media. The 2.5 optical zoom is not too bad, but with the 180 megapixel, I did wish they could given us a better optical zoom lens with this. When it goes up to 5 times, 10 times and 20 times, it isn't too bad. Of course, you can't compare this to the S24 Ultra over here when it comes to your telephoto shots, because this one would give you crispier and good shots. But sometimes actually the Magic 6 Pro in harsher lighting conditions does give me better shots. So like I mentioned before, it's really hard to say which one is a clear winner over them. When it comes to selfie and portraits, I do prefer the S24 Ultra. It does give me a more natural look, even when I minimize all the beauty mode that I get with the Magic 6 Pro. So overall, I do prefer the overall shots that we get over here. Night mode as well is pretty neck and neck on both of these two phones. I would maybe give it a slight edge over the S24 Ultra, but looking at the price point on this, it's really hard to say that it's a clear winner with the Samsung phone over the Honor Magic 6 Pro. Of course, these are just some other images that we're going to share and browse through. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about these shots from both of these two amazing flagship phones. So that is it with the S24 Ultra up against the Honor Magic 6 Pro. And of course, the ultimate question at the end of this type of videos is which one to get. For the price point, if this is placed at about the 4,000 ringgit mark, not the 5,000, but about the 4,000 to 4,005, I think this is a very solid phone. I really did like the Magic 5 Pro. I said a lot of times, if you guys are looking for a good Huawei phone or something like that with your Google services, I think the Honor Magic 6 Pro over here does fit in that bill really nice. You have an amazing build, you have an amazing battery over here. The performance on this is really nice as well. But of course, if you want the latest and greatest and you want longevity with your phone, you want 7 years, you want to maximize over it, you want the best of class in the cameras, you don't want to worry about certain things here and there, you want a stable phone, I think the S24 Ultra over here at a price point of about 6,000 isn't too bad for my liking at all. I think this is one of my favorite phones to use. I would say maybe the S23 Ultra is better, but this is a video between two of these phones. For me, to be honest, if I had to pick one, I would go with the Honor Magic 6 Pro because of the price point. It is much more valuable compared to the S24 Ultra that we have here. Of course, these are just my thoughts and my opinions. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this. If you guys have any questions or if you guys want to share your thoughts and opinions, do so in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, do click the like and smash the subscribe button as well. And so you can follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and here on YouTube at Dr. Hamid Tech. That is it. I'll see you guys in the next one.